Where is your heart? What does it mean to put your heart and soul into something? What does it mean to love someone with all your heart? What does it mean to have a wicked heart or a broken heart? In this way, we ascribe our state of being to our heart. And virtually every religion and culture all over the world has done this. They see the heart as this driving force, in a sense, the engine of the body. And we ascribe our state of being to it. So I ask, where is your heart? What are you putting your heart towards? What is your main driving force? What do you love more than anything? Answering these questions will show you a lot about yourself and about your state of being. Now, Jesus Christ came as the first king ever in the history of kings to serve rather than to be served. He came to show us the way because he knows the state of our soul and he knows what we are drawn towards. As humans, we are inherently selfish by nature. We want things to be easy. We want things to be nice. We want things to be cozy. We don't want to be inconvenienced. We don't want to suffer. And a lot of times, even though it's what we need to do, we choose to serve ourselves over serving others. And because of that, we kind of end up in this cyclical state of despair. Now, Jesus said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." In that passage, he tells us the state of his heart, gentle and humble. And this is what he calls us towards, because he knows when we adopt that state of being, it will transform our souls into something higher. It will take the focus off of ourselves and put it onto others. And that is when we really start to transform. We are being called to put aside our ego, to put aside our quest for revenge, our lust, our greed, all of these lower tendencies that pull us away from God. And he is calling us to serve others. He said, "That which you do unto the least of these, you do unto me." He said, "If you love me, feed my sheep." He's telling us to serve. He washed the feet of his disciples to show this is what it means to serve. You need to humble yourself in order to serve. But by doing so, you are fulfilled. Now, self-love is a big trend right now. Go on Instagram and you'll see hashtag self-love, and you'll see people, basically glorifying themselves. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't love yourself. We were made in God's image, and we should love ourselves. But self-love, as I'm seeing it portrayed, tends to be more about the self and less about love. It seems to be centered around you and your needs and your desires, and not necessarily that of anyone else. The problem with this ideology is it leads us down a path of despair. It leads us towards something that can never be satiated. You can never be satisfied. It's never enough. This is why you see many wealthy people who are depressed, have drinking problems, or commit suicide. They're trying to fill this void inside of us with all these other things, and none of that can be filled except by one thing, and that is reunification with God. And that's only possible through service to others. Because when you serve others, you serve God. Now, I think back to when I was most depressed. I didn't really care about anybody but myself. I didn't feel like I had the capacity to care for anybody but myself. And in that state of being, I kind of just wallowed in my own self-pity, my own despair. And I really wasn't doing anything of worth or value. And the thing is, if that's the life we're living, we're only seeking after one pleasure to the next and not really serving anyone, it's going to be a very empty existence, because all those pleasures, as soon as we consume them, they're kind of gone. And then we're just lusting after the next one. And it's never enough. In a sense, it's mental slavery. And you can never be free from it until you decide to break those selfish patterns and serve others. The thing that changed for me, that started to help me get past all that, was I began to serve others. Now, in my own selfish and egotistical ways, it didn't just happen overnight. When I started farming, I was growing food for people, and that was a start. I still was doing it for myself. I was doing it, because this is what I wanted to do. This was my identity, and it really wasn't solely about serving people, but it was a start. At least I wasn't just laying around in a van all day thinking about why I'm depressed. I was actually working and producing something of value to other people. The other thing that happened at that same time was I had my first child, and then having children, being a father. It automatically takes the attention off yourself. All of a sudden, there is something here in this world that's more important than you, that needs you, that depends on you. And for me, that was good, because I took the focus off of myself and put it onto them. And I think for most people, it's good, because the trend is, as a teenager, you tend to be very selfish. Early 20s, you tend to be very selfish. Once you start having kids, you begin to sort of see things differently. You become more patient because you have to become more patient. And you become okay with not getting your way, because there's a lot of times where you're going to have to sacrifice doing what you want when you want to do it, because your kid comes first. Now, this was a good thing for me, and it started to sort of lift that depression off of me. It still kind of lingered, but it helped me pull out from those moments of total despair. So I ask, if you are depressed right now, can you honestly tell me that you spend your day serving others? I bet you can't. I bet you spend your day, just like I spent mine, wallowing in despair. And the thing is, when we're depressed, it's really a symptom of pride. And I never really thought about it that way until recently, but what I mean by that is we are essentially saying, I deserve something better. I don't deserve this. I deserve this. I deserve it. And it's like, do you really? Do you really deserve better? What about your actions indicates that you deserve better? Who have you served? What have you done with your time? Why do you deserve better than this current state? Now, I don't want anybody to be depressed. I don't want anybody to wallow in their own despair. And I'm sorry if you are depressed right now and you're hearing this and it's just feeling like a little overwhelming because it's just another thing, but it's really the only way out. The only way out of that trap is to accept responsibility for it. And once you do, and you start to put yourself aside, you start to volunteer your time and serve others, you will start to see a change take place in you. To move past this, you really need to look inside and look at the state of your own heart. What are you putting your energy towards? Who are you serving? What are you doing with your time? If you ask God to show you the inner state of your true soul, of your heart, He will. He will reveal it to you gradually, over time, as you can take it. This is different than perhaps a psychedelic trip in which everything's just coming down on you all at once, and it's a bit overwhelming and it's a bit hard to integrate. When you go the path of sincere reflection and asking to see yourself as you truly are, it will be revealed to you. And it will be done in such a way that you can actually absorb it and make changes. It's almost like, if it was just all dumped on us at once, it would be so overwhelming and we would just kind of melt. But God is gentle. He reveals things slowly and as we can take it. So as you go about your day today, watch your thoughts, look inside and see, where is my heart? It's not easy to do, but if you do it, you will start to see things about yourself that quite honestly are not pretty. But it's only through recognizing those things and making a conscious effort to move past those things to which you can actually be transformed. And it's a lifelong process. You're going to fall. You're going to find yourself doing good and having the sense of peace and happiness and all this. And then something is going to happen that is going to show you how wicked your heart still is. And it's humbling. But that's the process. And that's what we need to go through. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time.